Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream, and we will continue with our page 1 adventures. So, we've been making some good progress. Now, I figured we kind of already had a starting point with the 4th panel, so we're going to skip forward, jump ahead a little bit, and try and crack the nut that is the 5th panel, where the idea is basically our boy David Green, which we found. Cute little thing that I noticed is like you can actually just drag and drop other creator files into it, into an existing file, and it will ask you, and you will give it an option of including it as a reference file. So I didn't know that Krita could do that. So there we go. We kind of just want to get this dude. The head is too big, possibly. But I would like to the head is, interestingly enough, not the hard part. Understandable, because like I have drawn a lot of heads, and this isn't necessarily. It is a bit of an unusual angle, but it's not. It should probably be closer than that, right? Yeah. The most you can turn your head, and I'm trying it myself, is your chin to your shoulder. So it would probably, like, if he's looking, again, he's looking over his shoulder, right? But I'm also like, if he's looking over his, what would it be? His left shoulder. But he's also running, and when you're running, you're sort of like, and he would be throwing his right arm forward. It's the opposite, sort of like the next frame from this line, because here his right arm is sort of lunging forward, and his left arm is like his upper arm is so foreshortened it disappears completely behind his shoulder, and you only see this darkened part here, which is his forearm, kind of like dangling out on the side. Inspired by this frame here. There's my reference. So, and if you want to flip that, but it's sort of like the next second forward passage of time, kind of like the right foot is landing with the heel here, and it's kicking off with those horrible toes in the next panel. So you get a sense of momentum. Am I making sense, chat? Or have I lost you? I hope I haven't lost you already. How are you, by the way? So, and the tricky part is, because then the whole sort of like the torso is sort of swinging from left to right, so now it's swinging the other way. So if you have a center line, the center line would essentially be curved this way. And the shoulders this would be his right shoulder, which would be higher up. Yeah. I think. And then this arm kind of goes like, hey, elbow right here. And his other arm is sort of like, hey. And then you have the neck, and then the head sort of kind of maybe. That's a big head. Just put something down for crying out loud. Something like that, right? So you have your brow line maybe here. Like he's looking up and over. Like, oh my god! He's closing in on me. The end, whatever is chasing me is coming after me and is gaining on me, and maybe something like that. I don't know. All right, so we have that, and I also saw an interesting video early this morning before I went to work about Jim Lee, and it was like how he was just ruthless with the eraser, and he was just churning through drawing something and erasing it and drawing and erasing bits and pieces of it or the whole drawing and then refining it. And even if it's even not just when he's in the early stages like I'm doing here, but also in the later stages, it's got like, nope, let's just chop away the whole. And the idea of the video was to go like, do what Jim Lee is doing. Like, obviously you can't mimic his speed or his style, because like the man has been producing a metric ton worth of art for 2-3 decades. So yeah, like he has, if there's anybody who has mileage under their belt, it's definitely Jim Lee. So he has that speed and efficiency. So the point was like, don't emulate, try to go for that, because you're gonna fail. He has a head start that you can't beat. But it's just a mindset of like, don't get too attached to any of your illustrations. And kind of, and also he kept his sketches, even his failed sketches, in like a very, it wasn't purely 110% erased. So yeah, okay, so let's just try and refine this a little bit more. Make it a little bit cleaner. He says as he messes up the oval, right? Something like that, and then, you know, back, neck, shoulders, or right, and then center line. I don't know, rib cage. Right, and then we have shoulder and shoulder. And we're probably gonna need something with a little bit structure to it. I was just trying to like really throw down some structure, and opposing curves. I suppose we could also go straight and now let's go opposing curves like that. Let's go like a tapering and I don't know, something like that. Again, it's not exactly a heroic character by any stretch of the imagination. He's terrified, so he's running for his dear life. Let's just stretch through this because it doesn't really matter. And again, tapering towards the hand. This one might be a little bit more, you know, fisty. Yeah, that is more of a clenched fist, whereas the other is kind of like, oh, maybe that is a fist. Does it? How would that work? That is a very that is a big chunky fist, but yeah. Okay, yeah. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Just yeah. Be messy and uneven with our sketches. Alright, and let's just try to find a process here and just go like, yeah, okay, let's you know, be fearless and throw yourself out there and just see what comes out on the other end. I suppose we could try to apply a little bit, you know, eye area structure kind of thing to it, right? Forehead. Brow line, I guess. Something like that, right? And then this one for chin. Yeah, we're just doodling, chat, at this stage. Sketching. Okay. I am inventing a process, and low-key, chat, I like it. Applying the things that I've learned from trying to remember the things that I learned for my portrait drawing course. Doodle warriors, but right, it's like trying to just block in the very crude planes of the face, and I think this is wrong. Probably needs to go a little bit more like that, and we can clean this up a little bit more like such. Probably needs to be a little bit more narrower this way, most likely. You don't necessarily see that much of the forehead, and then we just thin out this line here. These two lines here, they kind of just, they do be merging. Something like that. I don't know. I just did a lot of portrait studies for a whole year. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and now I'm regretting that I put down the ear the way I put it. Because that, well, I think that the ear has to go anyway, so screw it. Let's get rid of it. Because Gotta remember the glasses. I'm trying to remember the, like, yeah, and you have like a the glass line that kind of goes like that. You gotta remember, like, trying to imagine your character wearing glasses or sunglasses or something. It was like, it gives you that brow line, gives you that angle, which is very useful. And then you kind of like remember, go like, oh yeah, the chin kind of goes all the way up to there, and where those two lines intersect, that's your ear, baby, roughly speaking. Something like that. I mean, yeah, wow, this... The more I use it, the more I feel the vibe of this approach. Okay, so that's the head, sort of, kind of, a little bit. Okay, and then neck? Question mark. And I am not sure. Like, if this one is compressed, you gotta go to the compress on one side because the head is tilted backwards, and then you gotta do the straight on the others, on the opposite side. That's the law of the land, chat. And that might... Maybe it will be better off if I erase it on the other side, because then it will be... And which one of these two lines is that? No, that's not. That is not right. That ain't right, chat. The right. This is correct. Because the chin, the head sits on top, so that's why the bottom plane of the chin goes over, right? This plane is behind this plane. Yeah. Makes sense? It makes sense in my uneducated head, so I'm sticking with it. That's my story, chat, and I'm sticking with it. Alright, and then we need to somehow figure out, oh god, how does this work? How does this work, chat? I don't know. Let's see if we can. Okay, is that even what I want? I don't know. But maybe we'll just, I don't know. Yeah. Now let's keep them separated for now. Okay. Right, and then we just clean up the insides of the sphere. That one is in front. And then I suppose like the rib cage kind of just... just low-key just tapers down like that into that, and then it arches because it's not completely flat on the back, and then this line would come up and around and connect to that line like such. And this line goes away because this giant shoulder ball is in front of it, of course, which makes perfect sense. Don't worry about it, chat. Alright. I don't think that things are to scale, but it's more important that things are quote-unquote working, right? So you have that giant ball, and we have this big dark bold line, and we clean up everything in between, and we have this big bold line, right? And we can just clean up our mess. And yeah, have I possibly, after all, ooh, all these years, finally found something that works for me, chat? I don't know. Okay, I'm kind of okay. With this one, I am interested in doing something like that, and yeah. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. And I'm not sure how to do the hand. I'll just oh my goodness, that is... I don't know what that is. Oh, get it away. Get rid of it, chat. Alright, yeah, I'm terrible at drawing hands. No, shit, Sherlock. Let's move on to something else. That is... oh my goodness. Goodness gracious me. It's gotta be one of the saddest, most pathetic attempts at drawing a hand that I've ever seen. Alright, okay, so we got the pinch here, and I don't know, like the pelvis kind of just comes up here, and we get the bump. Yeah. And I don't know, it will sort of like circle down like, something like that. Alright, something like that, right? And then I suppose, if that is the compression, right, like, I don't know, maybe we'll just really compress it. Like, really sell that compression. It's like, yeah. Yeah. We can just do it. Yeah, we can just do it like this, basically. Oh, there you go. Some overlapping forms, overlapping lines. Ah, yeah, that is beautiful, chat. That is absolutely beautiful. Okay. This is going. Aside from the catastrophic failure that was an attempt at drawing a hand, it turned out surprisingly well. We're making good progress. Half an hour in, and okay. That's I don't know. Is it because like the forearm and well, it is a little bit shorter, but it might be a little need to be perspective and bullcrap stuff. Anyway, excuse me. Let's see. We'll just. Alright, and then I think it's better if we just do that as a straight line, question mark? I have no idea, like it just looks so... Yeah, because like this cylinder is like coming down, so it would be like this. I think. Patching it up. Right, and then it would be something like this. Right. Right. Something like that is the elbow part, and then how would that be? I'm trying to yeah, forward. Oh, not to down, but if it's away, then we're looking up at it, so then it curves this way. But it probably needs to be even smaller because it's far away and you want to go from big to medium to small. Let's just start on the outside with this one, I think, and work our way in. And this one I will just gonna do a temp layer. Me thinks. Yeah, let's just do that. Make it nice and thin. And there you go. And now we can get rid of the... So now it's a little bit nice and clean. Boom, there you go. I mean, it's not horrible. Kind of happy how that head turned out. Not gonna lie. Okay, so let's draw through our form. You know, that comes down here, and then we have our stretch, which connects, comes down, and right, and I suppose this one would kind of just come around, like this one goes up and comes around like such, kind of, sort of, almost, yeah. Does that work? I think that works. Okay, so we need to get rid of all of that, all of this internal stuff. Okay, and then it's collapsed. And everything's hunky-dory, and we have the glue. And we're back in temp layer territory, but that's okay. Right. So the the center of it is gonna like it goes up like this, and then it twists down like that, and then curves outwards again like that. That is something like akin to the center line that I, in my glorious genius, am seeing. Glorious genius, yeah. It's not me. Full of ourselves here. Something like that. Alright. Hydration check. Okay, now. Now, of course, I could cheese it and just go like, well, I want an axially, I want a close up, so we can just do, oh, we could just do like this. Or like that. Then we just have to, then I just have to draw one hand, chat. It's a bit cheesy, but I also kind of want to look at, like, what does this look like compositional wise? Isn't that roughly speaking thirds? I don't, kinda, sort of, maybe. No, that is not thirds at all. I think it's this. Oh, hang on. Which one is it? No, that one. This one. That needs to be moved closer, because I think it's pretty third-wise. Okay, maybe this needs to move a little bit, but that is roughly speaking sense. But like the core idea, chat, is that I would like that I have the focal point here. This is one of the focal points, and go like, that's the money shot right there. That's, you want points of interest to be in the focal points. That's kind of like, again, a little bit more of a centered composition, but I don't necessarily mind it. Because he's running from, in panel 4, he's kind of like more or less running right for us, and he's kind of looking over his shoulder, but he's also like moving forward and away from it. Okay, well, it works. It does work. Okay. Then the big question is how to you know, he's kind of like, again, throwing his... Maybe it would be better if his arm was the gesture of his, because now it looks like he's throwing his hand forward, but like I want him to throw upwards. Which... Hang on, let me cook, chat. Let me cook. Alright, so now I've gone and done it. Right, and this is just gonna, if we curve, push the gesture or the curve outwards like that. Oh yeah, that is so much better. I don't think that his elbow is not necessarily that big. We want to avoid tangents too much. Let's see what we can we sculpt this one? It's tricky. That's not exactly a pure tangent. This is quasi-tangent, but let's do it. Alright, okay, something like that. For shortening, disappearing into perspective. Huffing and puffing that copium. Right, so if you want to get kind of like continue, do you like tilt the wrist? Like that? If I draw, you know, like, do you like tilt it up? Like that? Or do you just continue, like, because you want to continue that arc, therefore you have a box, a curvy, a curved, a curved box like such. And there's the, again, completely butchered. But you get the idea, like it. Yeah, I think this. I am not used to drawing like with this super technique that I found, so I have to like experiment with it and find something that works. And again, that looks. It just looks so bad. Like that doesn't. I think it's because, like, again, I haven't. I have a hard time, like, because it's the arm that is pushing. It's pushing forward, so technically speaking, it should just be. annoying. Let's change the pace a little bit. Will this work with is this the way to do it? That'll work. Okay. Let's see. Would we make a maybe easy pose? Is a let's see. Start. New scene. Let's keep this. Oh, they added Hit Boy. I don't know. Male standard. Fair enough. Bunk. Do we have dynamic? Okay, then we okay. Yeah, that could work. Hut. I just need to grab your neck, good sir. And possibly your head. And then we just need to... Yeah, that is... Let me see. Like the shoulders going up, but it's much more... Huh. That is a very different... pose. Let's see, I'm trying to. How do you? Let's see, isn't it here? Where do we have? Cache? Is it TypeScript, media human, pure ref, raspberry, samba, thunderbirds, where the... Is it local? No. Stream cloud. No. Oh, my. No, that's just... Oh my goodness, this isn't... No. Ah, this isn't the most exciting... Doesn't really... Mad Cat Games. Local. No. Roaming. Microsoft. Windows. No. Local love. Madcon. Easy pose. All files. Steam apps. No, config. No, what? Crying out loud. One thing is they've got like, yeah, Steam is great for you, that you can use Steam and games and apps via Steam on Linux, but like it exists, it seems to exist in like inside of this virtual little bubble. So when it like, I take a screenshot in this program called Easy Pose that I bought via Steam, and I can't find a screenshot because I don't know where it's buried deep in somewhere. So screw it, we'll just screenshot it, basically, like literally just use the screenshot app and just go for the whole freaking window and copy it and no, it gets pasted in. Ah, screw it. No, we can. Yeah, we can. I suppose we can. It just needs to inherit the alpha. That's kind of the pose, like, kind of, sort of works. Maybe. Am I just huffing and puffing that copium though? I don't know. But at least it gives me a certain idea that go like, yeah, it's not that. It's not super bad. Granted, this is again very stylized, and I go like he's looking a little bit more up than he is doing here in the screen. But like it's not a super bad head, which is good. Yeah, because now he's no. But I'm kind of just trying to figure out like how. Okay, can we? All right, what if we tweak the pose? So it reflects a little bit more. Or shoulder pose. No. A little bit more. A bit more like that. Maybe a little bit more further out, like something like that. But the point is, I kind of low-key want... maybe... twisting it a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I'm kind of just interested in... Okay, now it's much more top. Oh, okay, you can just mirror it. Cool. I didn't know. I did not know that was a thing. Okay. Now... cancel. Take a screenshot. Boom. Copy that to the clipboard. Paste that in. And now we can just... Okay. And we can lower the opacity. Yeah. And obviously we need to zoom the frickin'... Oh, well, now we're distorting it, so we need to hold shift so things doesn't get distorted. I should have probably been much more zoomed in. The character. And I should have oriented his head correctly as well, now that I think about it, but I'm a big dum-dum. Okay, so if we just... Okay, if we ignore the head, and just focus more on... If we use... Again, if we just use the shoulder as an anchor point, and then we just rotate the sucker. We got something like that. Okay. Which is not necessarily super bad. Okay. Like, I can work with this, I think. Because we already have, like, the outline, as it were. So we can, let's see, we can kind of just bring this line, do a line over like that, and we can bring a line over like this, kinda. Maybe? No, like that. And that becomes this new torso, and then we can delete all of this stuff. Right, that becomes this new torso, right? Yeah, okay. And then we'll just take all of this. And would you look at that? And granted, like the orientation of his head is different, but maybe I'm just huffing the copium. Like, he obviously, his chin needs to be raised higher, but like, scale wise, it's not necessarily super bad, super terrible. Okay, so something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. Right, because now I have. This is the part that I was after, chat. All that work just to get the frickin' cylinder in the right frickin' place. And we can just clean things up a little bit. And there we go. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I guess we could just go a little bit more carefully with this. Or maybe we shouldn't. Let's just try it, chat. See where we end up. Chances are it might end up looking, quote unquote, better. Because, I don't know. Something like that. Compromising my artistic vision. Ulta, how you doing? No, Olata. Just dropping an emoji and then bailing? Oh, okay. That's understandable. Have a nice day. Patching things up. And okay, gesture-wise, I'm like more interested in like, yeah, this needs to like, because it's swinging outwards, so that is what I'm interested in. Gesture-wise, look at me trying to talk like Stan Prokopenko. Oh well. And yeah, there we go. The orientation of the wrist and fist, just meh. I guess top plane, just a plain old. Oh, I hate it. Getting too stuck on the reference again. Opposing, maybe not. Maybe we'll just continue with the curved line. In an effort to retain the gesture. Something like that, right? Turn that off and let's see how that looks like. Now there's some really freaking weird stuff going on here that I feel like we need to fix. Okay. Let's just... I don't know, man. It just looks really, really weird. Okay, like that one. Goes down like that. Oh, man. Perspective is hard. Figure drawing in general is hard, but you know, once you make it, or once you get it, once you have that, you're like, ah, yeah, look at that, I did it. Very satisfying. Yeah, I figured it out. Okay. That. I lost the gesture. I lost the energy. Like, it might be, like, quote-unquote more correct. But there's no energy in it. In chat, we're gonna throw it all in the trash. And we can't really use this reference because I lose the energy. I don't want to lose the energy, chat. Which basically means we're gonna have to strap in and wrestle with this one. That was fun. Oh boy. But I guess this is all about the process, huh? Let's see. Okay. This is what the process is all about. Starting. Trying to rotate it in my head. What were we doing again? Like, yeah, like. Maybe we can do this and. Right, and then go like that. And then the other. Like that, and then rib cage. Like this. Maybe really is really throwing his arms around. Right. Right, so yeah. And that basically means that we have this. I don't know, things are just... I feel like his head is too big in this one, but, you know, maybe we can fix that. Did I seriously? Okay, whatever. Correct to scale. I think. Okay. And Loki. Now, maybe he's throwing elbow over. Hang on, let me stand up. Yeah, as a as a balancing thing, you would still have like his forearm, which is essentially just track in front of his chest, and then you would have his fist like that. Right, so it comes forward and then it goes forward and then around. Like he's swinging his weight around. Get this twirling motion this way. The twist. The twist of the torso, chat. Alright, that's got some energy to it. Um, we tilt it to make it a little more extreme. To make it a bit bigger, maybe. Fill out the panel. Let's do that. Okay. Let's refine the sketch once more, chat. So we have, that's a brow line. Right. But I guess doing this over and over and over again is how we get good, chat. That's how did you get so good? Well, you know, I kept doing the same thing. I kept doing the same thing over and over and over again until I got what I wanted. Or something close to what I wanted, I guess, I suppose. Is the right phrase. Something. Like this. I don't know that. That might be the wrong angle, but yeah. So let's throw that down. Keep it ugly. Keep it loose. Kill your darlings. There's a writing mantra. Kill your darlings. Alright. Now he is looking. And the center line is, roughly speaking, here. Which means the ear kind of just comes something like this. Maybe? Oh, I think that is too big. So you need to take into account that I de-erase. Ah, it's a good enough for a placeholder. Alright. Okay. Cool. And, you know, kind of like it comes down and something along those lines. I feel that elongated. Like maybe the chin would have been better suited off if it wasn't like somewhere like something along like it looked a little bit too long to me, question mark. Like the front of the face looked a little bit too long. Something like that? I don't know. Okay, Here comes the fun part, I guess. There's the stretch. And we gotta do the compression here. Right. Not sure how much of that is going to be visible when we throw in the arm. But it is or a placeholder of it, and we got to retain that gesture while that gesture energy. So we're gonna curve our line. Or try to, at the very least, and curve it upwards. Don't bother fixing it. Stitch things together, and there's a plain old change. And I don't know, base of the neck. It goes around which base? If that is the base of the neck, then yeah, I guess that the rib cage kind of just comes out from here. Digging these tunes, dude. These tunes are great. Yeah. Right, so then if he's really twisting, I guess we see like the arms are like really going, your arm line is, yeah, going like that, and so that basically means that we get a little bit of that sternum. We get some sternum action in this iteration, chat, which is pretty good. Look at that. Some sternum action. Oh, like... Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, something like that. That might be... That sternum is probably way too far down. It feels like... Oh, there we go. Can we tie it all together, chat? In one glorious... all united. I don't know about that, ribcage chat. I don't know about that, but leave it at... we can always Alright, so then we have some. I would like to have some elbow joint kind of thing going on here. Alright, that's. Ooh. It's difficult. That is tough to do. Okay, let's do a temp layer then. Something like that. Okay. That is a pretty. It's probably too thick. Get away. It needs to be probably thinner. Let's try something like that, yeah. Something like that. There we go. This is going like this way, and then we're going this way. Yay! Look at that, chat. And we want. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but we kind of. Right, and then. Right, and then. Frickin' hell. We'll just do something like that. That does not look like a fist at all, but. That's a placeholder. Also. Yeah, that's not to scale. That's not to scale, chat. Like, for shortening and everything, like, I don't think that is. That's not. Let's do something like this, maybe. That doesn't look very boxy, but whatever. Let's try to make the other one boxy. Question mark. It's tough to do without temp layers, but let's just do temp layers then. They keep overlapping and stuff. All right. And then we can just. And let's clean up some of this mess. Go away here, you ugly, ugly, ugly luglings. Get away. Alright, gotta curve the lines the right way. Of course, I can just make the brush smaller if I want to. I need to remember that as well. Is that thing to scale? I have. Blah, that does not. God dang. This one looks worse. Something's off, something's missing, and I hate it. Why did I have to bring in that stupid reference? Mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. Ah, all right. Um, and this is just a rough sketch. Never mind, like inking and all that. I'm so boned. I'm gonna. Like. Alright, so shoulder. Arm. Elbow. And this one is then goes down and connects to this one, which shoots forward, and this other one shoots outwards, right? And then we probably need to soft erase some of this internal stuff, and then we have the rib cage. We're not going to erase in the rib cage, we're going to draw in the rib cage. And the rib cage is, roughly speaking, something like that. Okay, so we can take this, we can tilt it a little bit so he's running really fast, really forward, right? Because he's really scared, because he's getting chased. That's the story. And so that's behind. Now we have something connecting. Yeah, there we go. Tilted. It's just, this is tilted upwards like such. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Know what I need, chat? I need more water. Touch that dial. Be right back. Alright, that was a super quick break. Perks of having a small apartment, I guess. Kitchen's right out there, chat. Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay, well, let's just try this again. Once more, with feeling this time, hopefully. Okay, so... yeah, that might be a little bit too dramatic for the... eyebrow. Or alright, and yeah, keep it ugly, keep it ugly, keep it ugly. That's okay. No, that's not the tool that I want. This is... Give me my favorite brush. Like, this isn't necessarily the hard part. The hard part is the... it's not even like... Like that. Again, probably most likely because I done this so much. Not necessarily specifically from this angle, but yeah. Okay, I need to... Oh, this is pretty... So this part is low-key not too difficult. Because I'm fairly familiar with the Luna's head. It's just the, you know, the rest of the body. That's where the problems come in. Anyway. Maybe I should ask for help. Second opinion. Post this on the Winged Canvas subreddit. No, not subreddit. Discord. And ask for a second opinion. I might do that. I just might do that, chat. I just might do that. Because honestly, I am getting pretty... stumped right now. And I'm kind of just low-key huffing and puffing some copium and go like, it will be good. Thanks, I hate it. Maybe we'll just do this. There we go. Where are we? Here we are. It's not that I wanted to look pretty, I just wanted to properly convey the planes of the face. Okay. So, shoulder time for like the third or fourth. What is this? Fourth or fifth time? I've lost count, chat. I've lost count. All right. There's a nice little shoulder ball for you. Okay, so from here, once more with feeling, we might want to go a bit dark and heavy on this one. So yeah, we might not. necessarily need a lot of that. Those interior lines. And we don't... I suppose we could at least soft erase it so that it's not as distracting. Okay, and then we need cache. Like this one is up. Curve it upwards. And this one, curve it. And we're gonna go from big to medium, which is our elbow. That might not necessarily be medium. That is a little bit more medium. To small, which is our wrist. Alright, and we're just gonna... Da-da-da. Alright. Planal change or directional change. Let's frickin' go. And from here, we can just... I suppose we could just... That might be a bit too much of an exaggeration, but let's see where we end up, chat. I mean, it's not terrible. Let's just go with it. And yeah. Alright. Gesture. Structure, overlapping lines. Good. And now we're kind of like hiding the complex neck connection behind the shoulder. That's some 16-dimensional chess right there, chat. Well, I suppose we could just, for extra clarity. No, do not delete the sketch. At least not yet. Okay, okay, maybe I should just start with this arm, question mark? That those messy but flowy lines. Love to see it. Yeah, they're growing on me, chat. They're growing on me. Look at that. That is a lot of gesture. Okay, I might actually have to do that. Asking for a second opinion, actually. Try and incorporate that too into my workflow, basically, and engage with the, I don't know, a community. And I mean, Canvas seems like a good place. Like, no shade to them. And who knows, maybe again, confidence boost. Go like, oh my god, I love your gestures. Oh, like your lines are so great. How did you do that? Goes a long way. Okay. Confidence boost and keeps your motivation going. Maybe the head is, again, the head feels too big. But you know what? I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. So we're gonna see most of the side on this, but I still wanna sort of allude a little bit to and it's tilted. So something like that. Then something like this, right? It's messy, but right. Can you not feel the love, but see the vision, chat? That's the question. Can I see the vision? A lot of hard-hitting questions on this stream. Can I see the vision? That is probably needs a bit more of a bend to it. Methinks something like that. All right, so. Soft erasing for the win. These lines are just distracting, so we can clean it up a little bit. Some structure for the head. And yeah, maybe I'll just put a cross contour line, just sort of trying to reinforce the directionality of this. Right. No, actually, that is just confusing. Wait, there's a second joint there? What the heck? Yeah, and I'm just gonna, like, it's a hand, but it does overlap, but it doesn't overlap that much. Like, come on. Don't be that guy. Don't be that hyper overlapping lines guy. You know? You know what? Nobody wants to be that guy. Don't be that guy, chat. I suppose we could just do like something like that. And then we can just do something like this. And I mean, again, that hand is... Okay, what if I just... Does that look better? That looks a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, cool. So, and my brain is turning to mush. 2 hours. 2 hours, but like, it's trial and error, and yeah. But I'm also getting more and more used to the process. Sketching, experimenting, throwing it away. So yeah. It's good. It's good. Even though, like, progress in terms of, like, a number of panels and whatnot is a little bit... So I kind of expected that this one would be kicking my ass, kicking my ass and taking my name, but like, guess I underestimated it. Do we just do we continue? I feel that it feels like this one should continue. That seems like that's the right choice for some reason. And okay, maybe we'll just to oh, it just looks weird, but weird is the name of the game, and I don't know, central line, central center line, I think, methinks, something like that, to give a better sense of what the heck, what's going on, chat. I'm being a little bit too precious with my sketch. Cleaning it up a little bit too much, but whatever. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, because like it's tilted this way, so you would have a cross contour. Line akin to this. All right, that's preserve some of the fish hooks, and we can just fade it back a little bit so it doesn't interfere too much, but then we'll just put it here. That looks good, and good. It's certainly good enough for a sketch. Like, okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that the head is too big for it's not to scale. Yeah. And maybe that center line needs to be even closer to, because he's also maybe that center line, instead of being like a literal centralist, like going up the center of it, maybe it needs to disappear and merge with the edge, like such. To better show that. Oh, autosave time. How convenient. Shows that. Something like that? I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of goes like, again, it just goes to show that how much energy you lose as you sort of refine each stage. And maybe I'm making a mistake of doing the ribcage kind of thing because it doesn't really, and that stiffens it because it doesn't have that much directionality to it. Maybe that is the mistake. No, don't lock it. Oh. Maybe. It's something to consider. Okay, so I think we can call it here. Like, again, good progress in terms of like brainstorming and iteration on the same idea. Like, it's clean, but it's clean and clear in terms of structure for the most part. But it's not necessarily super clean. Doesn't necessarily have the energy and gesture that I have, but it might be a price that I just have to pay and just go like cut my loss again. Just cut my losses and just go like screw it, whatever. Yeah. But asking for a second opinion is something I would also like to try and incorporate into the workflow. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it here, chat. Let me see. I just also I haven't really posted on my social media for since what, the final Inktober post, I think. Like, holy crap, I've been sleeping on that. That's not good, chat. That's not good. Not that I care much about following, but you know, streaming suddenly became my new art journal. But whatever. Okay, so man, I'm tired. As you might guess from the whole yawning thing. Right. So where does that leave us, chat? Where does that leave us? Well, it was a good session. Happy with it. And next is Friday. Friday the 12th. Halfway to Christmas. Thankfully, I'm such a smart guy that I've already done 90% of my Christmas shopping. I just need to wrap the presents, which is a bit of a Christmas workshop. Gonna visit my mom tomorrow. Get the last scoop on what to buy for my sister for Christmas, because I have no freaking idea. But she got the scoop, she got the details, so I'll figure that one out. Not that it matters much for you guys, chat. I'm just yapping. Yapping and stalling. So yeah. We'll just continue, and hopefully by, like, if I post for feedback, constructive criticism, or whatever the heck you want to call it, for today, right after the stream ends, hopefully we will have some, we can go for that feedback and take that to heart and work on it. Right? Well, build up a little bit of a gathering, and yeah, what do you know? All of a sudden we're kind of cool and slick and elegant and all about that. Because then they have Wednesday, Thursday to get feedback. And I don't know, obviously it doesn't include the export, it doesn't include the reference pages. Yeah, it doesn't include anything, it's just a page. That's a lot of white around that. Anyway, we'll just leave it at that. So then we have a battle plan, chat. We're gonna ask for a second opinion. Hopefully we'll get some feedback, and we'll take that to see, depending on what the feedback is, we're gonna take it to heart or not. But so until then, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.